If you find yourself looking away during conversations, glancing at the floor, the wall, your hands, anything but the eyes of the person in front of you, you've probably been told there's something wrong with you. Maybe someone called you shy. Maybe someone said you seem nervous, distant, or hard to read. Maybe a teacher once told you to look at people when they talk to you, as if that simple instruction could rewire something deeper than posture. But here's what almost nobody tells you. Avoiding eye contact isn't a flaw. It's often a sign of a deeply sensitive, highly perceptive mind that processes the world differently than most people around you. What looks like avoidance from the outside is, on the inside, a completely different story, one built on intensity, protection, honesty, and a nervous system tuned to notice what others miss. For most of your life, you may have quietly absorbed the idea that something about you needed fixing. You watched other people hold steady gazes, laugh easily while looking someone dead in the eyes, and you wondered why that never came naturally to you. But the truth is, the very thing you've been trying to correct might be one of the most misunderstood strengths a person can carry. Once you understand what's really happening inside your mind and body when you look away, you'll stop seeing it as a weakness and start recognizing it as one of the quietest, most complex forms of depth a human being can have. Let's talk about the first hidden reason, and it starts with how your brain handles information. Psychology shows that people who avoid eye contact are often processing far more information per second than the average person realizes. Direct eye contact activates intense neural activity. Your brain is trying to read micro-expressions, tone of voice, body language, word choice, and emotional undertone, all at the exact same time, in real time, without pause. For most people, this happens in the background without much strain, but for others, this becomes genuinely overwhelming, an almost overstimulating flood of data, so the brain instinctively reduces the input by breaking eye contact. This isn't weakness. It's overload, a system doing its best to manage more than it was given room to process. Think of someone who, in a deep conversation, looks away right when the topic gets emotional or complicated. From the outside, it might seem like they're checking out, losing interest, or avoiding the moment. But internally, the opposite is happening. They're engaging so deeply, so completely, that their mind needs a brief moment to catch up, to sort through everything being said and felt before responding. If this sounds like you, you're likely someone who feels emotions with unusual intensity, someone whose inner world is louder, richer, and more layered than most people around you ever realize. You're not missing the moment. You're absorbing it more fully than anyone else in the room. The second reason is rooted in something much older, something that often traces back to childhood patterns most people never examine. Research indicates that many people who struggle with eye contact grew up in environments where being seen too closely felt unsafe. That might have meant harsh criticism. In these environments, avoiding eye contact became a subtle, almost invisible form of self-protection, a way to remain present in a room, in a relationship, in a family, without fully exposing the tender inner self underneath. Imagine a child who learned, through repeated experience, that showing too much emotion led to being mocked, dismissed, or told to toughen up. That child doesn't consciously decide to stop making eye contact. It happens gradually, almost invisibly, as a protective reflex built from repetition. That child grows into an adult who instinctively guards their gaze, not because they're cold or uninterested, but because somewhere along the way, vulnerability felt genuinely dangerous. Eye contact, after all, is one of the most exposing things a human being can offer another person. It says, "See me," and for someone who learned that being seen came with a cost, looking away became survival. If this resonates with you, understand this clearly. It doesn't mean you're broken. It means you adapted brilliantly, using the only tools available to you at the time, to protect a very tender, very real part of yourself. That adaptation may have started as a defense mechanism, but it also reveals something remarkable, an early awareness of emotional safety that most people never develop until much later in life, if ever. The third reason has to do with authenticity, and this one might be the most quietly rebellious of them all. Psychology shows that people who avoid direct eye contact are sometimes deeply uncomfortable with performing emotions they don't actually feel. Maintaining constant, steady eye contact can require a kind of social performance, a projected confidence, warmth, or certainty that isn't always genuine in the moment. Society rewards this performance constantly. We're taught that strong eye contact equals confidence, trustworthiness, and social competence. But people who value honesty above social smoothness often unconsciously reject that performance, even when it costs them socially. They'd rather look away, sit in a slightly uncomfortable silence, or glance downward than fake an expression that doesn't match what's actually happening inside them. Think about someone who breaks eye contact when asked a question they need to genuinely think about, rather than instantly reacting with a rehearsed, socially acceptable response. That's not evasiveness, and it's certainly not dishonesty. That's integrity in action, a quiet refusal to perform certainty they don't feel yet, a refusal to fake connection they haven't actually reached. In a world full of curated confidence and rehearsed charisma, this kind of authenticity is rare, and it deserves to be recognized as such, rather than mistaken for social failure. The fourth reason lies deep in the nervous system itself, in the biological wiring most people never think to question. Many people who avoid eye contact have a more reactive stress response, meaning their body treats intense, sustained eye contact almost like a mild threat, triggering a subtle fight-or-flight type reaction beneath the surface. This is especially common among highly sensitive people, individuals who take in sensory and emotional information more intensely and more thoroughly than others around them. Their nervous system isn't malfunctioning or broken in any way. It's simply tuned to a higher sensitivity setting, picking up on frequencies of experience that others don't even register. Picture someone in a crowded, noisy room who feels emotionally and physically drained after just one intense, meaningful conversation, while everyone else around them seems completely unaffected, ready to move on to the next interaction without a second thought. That's not fragility, and it's not a lack of social stamina. That's a nervous system wired for depth, one that experiences connection, conversation, and emotional exchange on a level most people never even notice exists. Eye contact, in these moments, becomes one more sensory input in an already full system, and looking away becomes a way of regulating that intensity so the person can stay present without becoming completely overwhelmed. If any of this feels familiar, and if you've recognized pieces of your own story in these 4 reasons, take a moment to really sit with what that means. You are not someone who fails at connection. You are not someone who is missing some essential social skill that everyone else was simply born with. You are someone who feels connection so strongly, so completely, that your body and mind develop their own quiet, intelligent way of managing that intensity. What others see as a gap in your social behavior is, in reality, evidence of just how much you actually feel, notice, and absorb in every interaction you have. The world often rewards loud confidence, unwavering eye contact, and constant outward certainty. It hands out approval to the people who can hold a gaze the longest, speak the loudest, and perform ease, even when they don't feel it. But the world rarely stops to acknowledge the depth, sensitivity, and inner richness of people who process life a little differently, who feel more, notice more, and protect themselves in quieter, more thoughtful ways. That silence from the world doesn't mean your experience isn't valid. It simply means it hasn't been explained to you the right way, until now. You were never the problem in these moments. You were simply misunderstood by a world that doesn't always know how to recognize quiet strength when it sees it. A world that mistakes sensitivity for weakness and authenticity for awkwardness. But now you know better. Now you understand that looking away isn't running from connection. It's often a sign that you're feeling it more deeply than words can express in that exact moment. The next time you catch yourself glancing away mid-conversation, instead of judging yourself for it, try to remember everything you now know. The overload of information your brain is managing, the protective patterns built from your own history, the refusal to fake something you don't feel, and the nervous system that simply experiences the world in high resolution. None of that makes you less capable of connection. If anything, it makes your connections, when they do happen, more genuine, more thoughtful, and more meaningful than surface-level interactions ever could be. Depth like yours isn't common, and it was never meant to be measured by something as simple as how long you can hold someone's gaze. If this video helped you see yourself in a new light, if even one part of this felt like it was written specifically about you, subscribe for more honest, empowering insights into the psychology behind who you really are. There's so much more to understand about the traits you've been quietly carrying your whole life. And this is only the beginning.